Sri Harinam Sankirtan. Meaning of the song is: if you want to be rid of the influence of the dog-like personality of Kali, then just sing the glories of beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He is the savior of Kali Yuga, and he is the destroyer of all fear caused by the age of quarrel. He maidens Sri Gadadhar with his name. He is the treasure of of Sri Nityanand Prabhu, and he is the most worshipable object of Sri Advaita Charya. He is affectionately named Nimai by his mother due to being born under a neem tree, and he has been named Vishwambar by his grandfather. He is the only Lord of Srivas, and he steals the hearts of all the simple devotees. Bhakta Samaj Choda. Lord Chaitanya is the moon over Nadia, the Lord of Sri Mayapur Dham, and the divine propagator of its own name. He is the instructor of family men, and he is also the hero of those who are in the renowned slaughter. He is the husband of the goddess of fortune, and he is overflowing with ecstatic mood and sentiments of Srimati Radharani. Lord Chaitanya is the corrector and purifier of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and the deliverer of King Prataprudra, the source of nourishment of Srila Ramananda Rai, and he is the great hero. He increases the ecstasy of Srila Rupa Goswami. He is the maintainer and protector of Srila Sanatana Goswami. He gladdens Haridas Thakur and is very great. Lord Chaitanya is the source of all transcendental mellows of Brajadham. He is destroyer of all mischievous and wicked mentality, and he dissolves the mundane lust of the deceitful, insincere souls by his causeless mercy. He maintains and protects his pure Vaishnava devotees, and he chastises dry speculative knowledge. He destroys pretentious and hypocritical devotion, and he is the reservoir of pleasure. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Discussing from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, fifth chapter, verse number 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Kuyate Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Slokir Bhaktir Bhagavate Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki गोविंदाय नमो नमः। 1:5:11 तद्वाक् विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम् अबध्यवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवा विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम् अबध्यवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः तद्वा विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम् अबध्यवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो तद्वाग् विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबध्यवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः तद्वाक् विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबध्यवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः तद्वा विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबध्यवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य सोऽङ्कितानि शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः that vocabulary visargah creation janata the people in general adha sins viplavah revolutionary yasmin in which prati shlokam each and every stanza abadyavatyapi irregularly composed api in spite of namani transcendental names etc Anantasya, of the unlimited Lord. Yasaha, glories. Ankitani, depicted. Yat, what? Srinvanti, to hear. Gayanti, to sing. Granti, to accept. Sadhavaha, the purified men who are honest. Translation covered by Divine Grace Shri Prabhupada. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, form, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Purport. A long purport here. It is a qualification of the great thinkers to pick up the best even from the worst. It is said that the intelligent man should pick up nectar from a stalk of poison, should accept gold even from a filthy place, should accept a good and qualified wife, even from an obscure family, and should accept a good lesson, even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchables. These are some of the ethical instructions for everyone in place without exception. But Saint is far above the level of ordinary man. He is always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord because by broadcasting the holy name and fame of the Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. And as a result of propagating the transcendental literature like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. While preparing this commentation on the particular stanza of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we have a crisis before us. Our neighboring friend China has attacked the border of India with a militaristic spirit. We have practically no business in the political field. Yet we see that previously there were both China and India. They both lived peacefully for centuries without ill feeling. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness. And every country over the surface of the world was God fearing, pure hearted and simple, and there was no question of political diplomacy. There is no chance of quarrel between two countries. China and India own land which is not very suitable for habitation, and certainly there is no cause for fighting on this issue. But due to age of quarrel, Kali, which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel on slight provocation. This is due not to the issue question, but to the polluted atmosphere of this age. Systematically, there is propaganda by a section of people to stop glorification of the name of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, there is a great need for disseminating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. It is the duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the world to do all supermost good as well as to bring about the desired peace in the world. Because India has failed in her duty by neglecting this responsible work, there is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. We are confident that if the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam is received only by the leading men of the world, certainly there will be change of heart. Naturally, the people in general will follow them. The mass of people in general are tools in the hands of modern politicians and leaders of the people. If there is a change of heart of the leaders only, certainly there will be a radical change in the atmosphere of the world. We know that our honest attempt to present this great literature conveying transcendental message for reviving God consciousness of the people in general and re-spiritualizing the world atmosphere is fraught with many difficulties. Our presenting this matter in adequate language, especially a foreign language, will certainly fail. And there will be so many literary discrepancies, despite our honest attempt to present it in proper way. But we are sure that with all our faults in this connection, the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into consideration. And the leaders of the society will accept this due to its being an honest attempt to glorify the Almighty God. When there is fire in the house, the inmates of the house go out to get help from neighbors who may be foreigners, and yet, without knowing their language, the victims of the fire express themselves. And the neighbors understand the need, even though not expressed in the same language, the same spirit of cooperation is needed to broadcast the transcendental message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam throughout the polluted atmosphere of the world. After all, it is technical science of the spiritual values. And thus, we are concerned with the techniques and not the language. If the techniques of this great literature are understood by the people of the world, there will be success. When there are too many materialistic activities by the people in general all over the world, there is no wonder that a person or a nation attacks another person or nation on slight provocation. That is the rule of this age of Kali Yuga. The atmosphere is already polluted with corruption of all descriptions, and everyone knows it well. There are so many unwanted literatures full of artistic ideas of sense gratification. In many countries, there are bodies appointed by the state to detect the censor obscene literatures. This means that neither the government nor the responsible leader of the public wants such literature. Yet it is in the marketplace because people want it for some gratification. The people in general want to read, but because their minds are polluted, they want such literatures. Under the circumstances, transcendental literatures like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will not only diminish the activities of the corrupt mind of the people in general, but also supply food for their hankering after reading some interesting literature. In the beginning, they may not like it because one suffering from jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy. But we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for jaundice. Similarly, let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of the sense gratification. When men have a taste for literature, their hankering after other literature which are creating poison to society will automatically cease. We are sure, therefore, that everyone in human society will welcome Srimad Bhagavatam, even though it is now presented with so many faults, for it is recommended by such an authority as Sri Narada, who has very kindly appeared to this chapter. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चाक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुक्तापदकपदं श्रीगुरुं विष्णुमान्तं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्विताम् मां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते गौरवाणी प्रचारे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृष्णम् हे सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ते सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I seek blessings of all the devotees, especially the grace of Dudnima Prabhu, who is very senior devotee, but still sitting humbly here, and all other Vaishnavas also, that I can speak in glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam and for purification of my heart. So, it's a long purport. So, I have made some points so that we can remember at least some salient points from the purport. So one of the first thing that Prabhupada was focusing on, ethical instructions for everyone. Prabhupada was telling that no one should pick up gold even from garbage, one can accept a qualified, wife even from obscure family and other things like that. But the saintly people, they are actually higher, they are above them. Why? Because they are always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord. They are not just considered actually about the welfare of the world, but they are actually worrying about the topmost welfare of the world. Actually. The topmost welfare can only happen when there is systematic propagation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam all over the world. Actually. And then Prabhupada tells about the contest of Kali Yuga, how Kali Yuga is ruling over everybody, and India-China war is going on. And, they are fighting for a land which is of no use for anybody. So, you know, for centuries together, actually, the countries were living peacefully, but they are fighting now. Why? Because this is the age of quarrel. Age of quarrel means what? You cannot give any reason for fighting. Without any reason, also people will fight like that. This is, the special qualification to be born in Kali Yuga, that you should be expert in fighting, actually. like and then Prabhupada focuses on the urgent need of Srimad Bhagavatam, that how Bhagavatam can reduce the influence of Kali Yuga, and the systematic propagation of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita will bring real peace and prosperity in the society and in the impious life of the Kali Yuga people actually. So we are all born in Kali Yuga. So those who are hearing and attending Srimad Bhagavatam class, attending morning classes, they are all very pious. They are supreme, pure devotees actually, in one sense. Prabhupada said once that there are perfect pure devotees and there are practicing pure devotees. So all of us, we are striving to practice pure devotional service. So from that point, everybody is actually worshipable. Then Prabhupada says that actually the language is secondary, and don't worry about the literature whether it is proper, it is presented in proper grammatical things or not, and things like that. All those things will not be taken into consideration. So the seriousness of the subject matter will be given utmost importance. That is glorification of the Lord. So in today's class, we'll see actually practical application and potential challenges faced by devotees while practicing Krishna consciousness, and why we are not able to take the advantage of these transcendental literatures which are present with us. So one of the important things that happens in the association of devotees when we start staying, initially everything looks good. Devotees look like, so the bhaktas, everybody looks like a pure devotee. And whomever you see, dhoti kurta tilak, my lord, we consider them as worshipable. But then eventually when we start staying with devotees, the fault finding mentality arises. And then Kali Yuga, actually Kali personified, starts, uh, making different plans how to rule over devotees. So Kali Yuga and Maya Devi, they are the two major challenges for devotees actually, to counteract while practicing Krishna consciousness. So Kali and Maya Devi, they keep going through the list of the devotees. Now this particular person, he started chanting 2 rounds. Oh my Lord, he's getting out of my grip. Now he started chanting 4 rounds. More seriousness again and again. Then actually the name keeps coming on the hit list above and above. And the more actually one chants and one becomes more serious, everything is coming, to the morning program. Kali Yuga will think, Kali personified thinks, my Lord, he is just getting out completely out of my grip. I have to make some or other plan to, uh, rule over him or to degrade him and things like that. And those devotees who are coming every day for morning program, they are on the topmost hit list of Kali personified. So don't worry, some, a mishap happens by the devotees who are coming for morning program. Don't worry. It is the plan of Kali, to create that kind of things. So how we get affected by that thing, that is what we are going to discuss actually. So I'll discuss one story of the 4 cows and 1 lion. I think many times already I discussed, but once again I'll say that once there were 4 cows, and these 4 cows they would go together for grazing in the forest. And one lion actually thought, Arey, these 4 cows are there, such hefty cows actually, I can just eat them for a month together actually, I can have nice feast. And the lion did not get proper food for many days. So one day he went for attacking actually on those 4 cows. But these 4 cows, they were together from all 4 directions actually they attacked on the fellow. And he was thinking that he will have a nice feast. But somehow or other he saved his life and ran away from the But then he was making some plans. Somehow or other, actually, I should, conquer over these cows. I should break their unity so that I can have nice peace. So then eventually, actually, he decided, okay, let me devise some plan. So he also started pretending as if he's eating grass. So he started going with the cows. Sometimes the cows are actually going for taking water. At time also he's also taking water, and he's also grazing nearby. So the cows they thought probably this lion just by our association actually. He also has become vegetarian. Just see the effect of word of goodness. Like that they started thinking. And then they thought he's also the transformed personality. He's also like one among us. So one day actually the lion was talking to the one cow, saying that actually for many many days actually he did this. And one day then he was talking to one cow. Did you know that actually the other cow told me like this about you? I said no. That cow cannot say like this about me and things like that. This lion said, don't you believe this? Today when it that cow comes, how see that cow sees or how that glances at you. Just see that. Meanwhile, he went to the other cow also and told something and all about this particular cow. Actually. So both of them, when they came together, actually all the four cows, these two cows, they were seeing each other, with like this kind of eyes, as if a lot of blasphemy is done by the other cow to this particular cow and things like that. Then this went on for a few more days, and the other two remaining set of cows between them also created some misunderstanding. One fine day, actually, all four of them they came and they thought, "My lord, it is too much unbearable. Our good friend is only this lion only. These three other cows are like nonsense. I cannot stay with them. No more staying with them. Just I'll get out of this particular place." Actually, they came together, and as they were, about to talk, one of the cow actually attacked on the other cow, and the other cow attacked on the other cow, and all of the four of them actually they started fighting. Then the weakest cow actually started running in different direction. Then the second weakest cow was running in the third direction. The fourth cow was finally remaining there actually. Then the lion ran in different directions. Went first direction, half killed the cow there only, injured it and left it there. Then went in the other direction, injured the cow there itself, and then third cow and then the fourth cow also. All four cows he finished, and then he had nice feast for months together. Actually. So the lesson that we learn from this particular story is, see, like this kind of difference of opinion comes in the association of devotees while staying. This is bound to happen by the effect of Kali Yuga. But we need not take those things very seriously. Rather, what we are supposed to take very seriously is the good things in the association of devotees. That is why, Parikshit Maharaj is being told by Sukadeva Goswami, Kalere dosa nidhe rajan asti ekon mahaguna kirtana deva krishnasya tasangam paramvarje. See, if we see there is an ocean, and if we stand on the shore of the ocean and see there is so much water, there is nothing to it. So similarly, in the age of Kali, it's full of faults. There is no doubt in that. It is filled with faults. But there is one great quality. What is that? Kirtana Deva Krishnasya. Those who are engaged in the Kirtan of Krishna, Krishna Kirtan, chanting of the holy name of the Lord, we should not find fault with them actually. They may be having some faults, but it is just matter of time that they will just get purified of those faults and become pure devotees actually. And they'll go back home back to God. So this is one thing that this is how actually Kali Yuga, Kali personified will try to create some troubles amongst the association of devotees, and then we start finding fault with devotees only, and then we feel dry in our bhakti, then we go out of association of devotees. So that's why it's very important that we don't give space to Kali by having this kind of grudges against each other. We should understand that actually all of us are patients, and each one of us are having some or other disease. So somebody is diseased to some greater extent, somebody is diseased to lesser extent. But we are all diseased and we are all in the hospital of Śrīla Prabhupāda and we are all getting treatment. And the treatment is chanting of the holy name. Early in the morning, coming, attending Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes, attending Mangalarti, and special treatment is two things, Bhagavatam class and chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this difference of opinion generally comes when we are actually doing services together. The devotee said like this is how actually it should be done. And I have a better opinion than that devotee that I can do better than that devotee. So this is like in the mode of goodness, the differences are there, but eventually it may create actually some kind of war amongst devotees. So that is dangerous. The next thing that may happen in the association of devotees is inferiority complex. When we hear about the glories of the devotees, glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord, glories of those who are coming for morning program, initial days we have a lot of respect. And anybody comes and says anything to them, "Prabhu, I'm not qualified actually. I'm having this kind of thing, I'm having that kind of thing, I'm so much filled with anarthas, inferiority, these kind of things and all. You ask them to do little service for whether of the devotee, they'll say, no, I am good for nothing actually. So this is inferiority complex. So this is like pendulum is there, one extreme is inferiority complex, the other extreme is superiority complex. So inferiority complex is in ignorance and superiority complex is in passion. Superiority complex is comes that it happens as we start practicing Krishna consciousness. Sometimes some speaker is sitting, somebody else is asking question, and that answer is given by the speaker. And while sitting in the audience, we think that actually I can answer this question better than you. So all these are mainly because of what? Superiority complex. We think that actually I am better than others. And eventually, the superiority complex comes to such an extent that one may start finding fault even with superiors also. Those who have brought us in Krishna consciousness with them also, saying that actually, Prabhuji, you are also getting up early. I am also getting up. You are also sitting. I am also sitting. In fact, you are sleeping in chanting. I sit and chant like that. So this is the superiority complex. It is in passion, and then such a devotee will be thrashed actually by the modes of ignorance, then actually we'll go to the other extreme. That is ignorance. When the anarthas will strike, the strike will happen, the bombarding will happen of the anarthas, then you will go to the other extreme. That is of inferiority complex. Oh, Prabhuji, I think I was thinking I'm pure devotee, this, that, and all. But still, I am having all anarthas, all conditionings are also still there. After chanting so many years also, I think Prabhuji, there is no hope for me. So better let me engage in sense gratification. So this is again the other extreme. This is what actually keeps happening day in and day out with us, that we keep going through the pendulum of passion and ignorance, either inferiority complex or superiority complex, like that. Like suppose somebody comes and glorifies this devotee is such a nice devotee actually, amazing devotee doing such nice wonderful service. Then we think that yes, ये मैंने करके दिखा दिया. And sometime other time some great devotees out of compassion also they come and say you that this particular person is like a dog only actually. Good for nothing actually. Rather than doing good service, he is becoming an obstacle to the services. We start thinking, "Oh, should I stay here? Should I get out of this particular place? I think I'm simply becoming an obstacle actually for performing devotional service. So let me get out only. Rather let me just chant holy name and I just do my minimum sadhana. I think I'm not qualified to do service. So this is again which extreme? Inferiority complex, ignorance actually. But rather actually we are supposed to be always under the direction of the devotees. Okay? We have inferiority complex, superiority complex, but act under the guidance of devotees. If they say do this, then do that. Let us not have worry about the other extremes. So that's how we can overcome this Kali personified in our life. Then what if we don't glorify Krishna? The effects that are being already given in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Sukadeva Goswami says that either we can be in Maya or we can be Krishna. We can be with Maya or we can be with Krishna. We cannot be in simultaneously one time with Maya, one time with Krishna. No. Either we will be with Krishna or with Maya. Simultaneously we cannot be in both like that. So Sukadeva Goswami here in second canto explains that if you are not glorifying Krishna, if you are not glorifying the pure devotional path of Krishna consciousness, then for sure we will glorify the materialistic people actually, or materialistic, association actually. So there he says this. Savitvaraha stotra khare samsuta purusha pasuh yat karna patopeto na yat karna patopeto jatu nam gadagrija. Men who are like dogs, hawks, camels, and asses. Praise those men who never listen to transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. So if you don't glorify Krishna, then people will glorify the politicians. They will glorify the actresses, heroes, heroines, and their own children, family members, relatives, or themselves. So, man, those who are not glorifying the Supreme Lord, they'll glorify these four class of people: dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. In this particular purport, Prabhupada explains actually the dogs. The dogs actually, basically, they are very expert in barking and making their own boundary lines. So the dog will go past his stool and make a boundary line. This is my area, this is my area, this is my area, and things like that. Anybody, any other dog enters, they'll say, hey, how? I don't enter in my area. This is my area, and things like that. So Prabhupada says that actually similarly different countries, they are also making like these boundaries, and any other person comes and enters, then how? Don't enter immigration office and things like that. Of course, for security purpose and these things it may be required, but Prabhupada says that actually at least for pure Brahmanas and saintly people, the boundary lines and such considerations should not be there. But now people are actually, they are like dogs. So what can be done? The next one, Prabhupada explains about hogs. So hog means he is expert in eating stool actually. If you offer him first class halwa, the hog will say, what a nonsense thing that you have given me for eating. I love only stool, so give me the stool one. So there are people who are like, you give them pure message of Krishna consciousness, they'll say, no, no, no. I like more of reading newspaper. I like more of hearing, watching movies, this, that, and all. Hogs only. The pure message of Krishna consciousness, halwa looks like them very distasteful. Whereas this, the stool-like substance appears very tasty for them. Next, Prabhupada explains about camels. Camels means actually the camel eats the thorns. It goes in the nerves and pricks. Some blood comes out. That blood it mixes with the foodstuffs whatever it is eating, and he considers it is very tasty actually. And he's eating his own blood only and he's considering something else to be tasty. That's how materialistic people actually they think that actually there is pleasure in sense gratification. But the happiness is there within the activities of the soul itself actually, not in sense gratification. Next, Prabhupada explains about the SS. The SS are famous for working hard like anything. That's why the analogy also people give work. No, don't work hard like a donkey. And modern day actually software engineers and even others also they are in par with the SS actually. The donkey also will feel ashamed actually. People are working 16 hours, 18 hours, 20 hours, and still so much of you know, this one is there. Hankering is there. Then the next sloka, again, Sukadeva Goswami says the same thing that those who do not hear the transcendental message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, their ears are like snake holes actually. So in the snake hole, who stays? Only snake will stay actually, and anybody else enters actually, it will give the poisonous effect. So similarly, those who are having this kind of input, the result will be that actually they pollute the atmosphere of the world. That's what Prabhupada is explaining in this purport. The polluted atmosphere of the world will get transformed only when there is a systematic propagation of Krishna consciousness. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the example comes when uh, this Devakinandan Das before meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was blasphemous of devotees actually. So he went to Mahaprabhu and said that somehow or other, actually, please tell me what I should do now. So Mahaprabhu said him that till now you have been just taking the poison of just blaspheming the devotees. Now you just take the nectar of glorifying the devotees. So that is the positive aspect. So what happens when we glorify Krishna? The result is very auspicious. Sharvatam Swakatha Krishna Sundya Sravana Kirtana Hridayantasthoya Bhadrani Visuddhati Surutsata. So Krishna personally appears in the heart of the devotee and he will take the brush, soap powder and everything and it will be in the heart of the devotee. Like that, that is the result of just hearing the glories of the Lord. And the gopis also glorify the glories of Krishna Katha. You can repeat after me this very beautiful slogan. Tava Kathamratam Tapta Devanam Tava Kathamratam Kavibhiritam Kalmasapaham Shravanamangala Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Bhuvi Grananti Ye Bhurida Jana. So what the devotees glorifies Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and the gopis are here indirectly actually. The acharyas specifically, Prabhupada disciples, they are saying that they are glorifying Prabhupada. So we'll see the translation and then we discuss that and conclude. The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So, who is the personality who broadcasted the glories of the Supreme Lord all over the world? Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. And that is why the gopis are saying, certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So they are saying that Prabhupada is most munificent actually. The gopis are glorifying Prabhupada actually. And the result of that, hearing Krishna Katha is that it will bring real auspiciousness in the life of people. Then Srimad Bhagavatam again says, Yasyame Shuyamanaya Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktirutvadate Pumsaha Mohamoha Bhayapaha. Prabhupada gives very special translation to this particular slogan. So Prabhupada says, simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fear. Soka, Moha, Bhaya, all three will go. So this is what I was talking about the pendulum, ignorance and passion. All this will go away just by giving simply oral reception to this Vedic literature, that is specifically Srimad Bhagavatam. So the call for action or the cure for all the Kali symptoms, in the beginning also we sang that song, Kali Kupura Kadat Jadi Chahohe. In case we want to get rid of the dog-like personality, Kali, then we have to simply sing the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow the teachings that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us when he was staying actually in Gambhira, every day for 4 hours he used to go to Gadadhar Pandit just to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And each pastime he would hear again and again, again and again, again and again. And the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam are that actually it keeps increasing and expanding in association of devotees. How is it? So His Grace Harilala was explaining that actual Srimad Bhagavatam, which was told by Vyasadev to Sukadeva Goswami, begins from third canto. And what was told by Sukadeva Goswami to Sutta Goswami begins from second canto. And what is told by Sutta Goswami to the sages of Naimisharanya is first canto. So three cantos are added. Understanding? Sorry, two cantos are added. So in the association of devotees, the glories of the Lord, Namani Anantasya Yasonketaniya. The glories of the Lord actually keeps expanding actually. And it is not that the devotees are adding some masala or something like that. No, the glories of the Lord are so much unlimited that in case one tries to find out the logical reason and things like that, the connections, one will go crazy only. For example, the appearance of Lord Ram. There are 16 different reasons that are given actually for appearance of Lord Ram. 3 or 4 of them actually when Ramayana was there, this Ram Vijayotsav is coming, that time we will discuss 4 or 5 of the reasons. One of the reasons is curse of Narad Muni. Why Narad Muni cursed Lord? That is one of the reasons actually why Lord Ram appeared. Then there are so many other reasons actually for appearance of Lord Ram. So like that, if one tries to find out the connections and everything, actually it is unlimited. And sometimes in between then there is Kalpa Veda also. And then what happened in this Kalpa Veda? So many pastimes are there. Unlimited pastimes are there of the Lord actually. Only thing is that we fail to recognize these pastimes of the Lord and purify our heart. So it is very simple. How we can purify our heart is by simply giving oral reception to the holy name of the Lord to the holy katha of the Lord. And that simple thing is that it is not some rocket science. It's just by attending Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes, just by coming and chanting in the association of devotees, just by attending Mangalarti actually and dancing for the pleasure of the Lord. All that is auspicious actually will be achieved by devotees. So, in just summary, I have made this PPP formula previously actually for the beauty of the Lord, but Lord's Naam, Roop, Gun, Leela, everything is same only. So we can again apply it for Krishna Katha also. In case if we don't do Krishna Katha and we do Prajalpa, then what happens? Instead of purifying us, it will become putrefying. You know, putrefied food, if one eats, what happens? You know that. The health will go down, one will become diseased. The disease condition will increase more and more. Next, instead of pleasing to the heart, will be more provoking. The prajalpa of the materialistic world. Like you all know, this particular case study of Nirbhaya Kand, those people actually who raped that particular girl, why they did that nonsense? Because previous night, four of them they came together and they watched some dirty movies. Now, whatever the input is there, same output only will come. But if you are hearing such nice glories of the Supreme Lord, then actually the heart will be actually very much pacified, and it will be very pleasing to the heart also, and it will be pleasing to the people in general also. Next one, the glories of the Lord, if one hears, then such a person becomes peaceful rather than having pain actually. So you know that Ajamil, when he was calling Narayan, just by calling once Narayan, actually the painful situation which he was facing, the Yamaduta, they were taking out his body, subtle body, they were separating him from the gross body. He was feeling extreme pain actually. Immediately, just by unknowingly calling out the name of the Lord, actually became so peaceful. Just imagine if you call out the name of the Lord knowingly. Similarly, and then the end is the glories of the Lord are permanent. Whatever we do, Ram Nam Satya hai. Only the holy name of the Lord and the glories of the Lord that we hear, they are only permanent. They are only going to come with us. Nothing else is going to come with us. All other things are perishable. So the practical application of how to do this Shravanam very effectively in our lives is very simple. I myself had been a teacher previously. So those devotees, those students actually would make notes. The class teachers, whatever was spoken, they would be able to actually eventually revive. But sometimes, eventually, what happens with us is we become very mechanical actually in everything, chanting, in hearing classes. Here, with class hearing becomes a formality actually. ठीक है मेरे को जाना है बैठना है वापस आ जाना है things like that. But in case we want to do real good or justification for our Shravanam, then better to make some notes. At least we may not make immediately in the class, but after going out of the class, we can write some things. Okay, today this is the class. At least one point I will remember. Like yesterday, Prasant was saying, crow class. You know, people are the output of modern day education system. So full day actually it was going on, and when we were having reading myself earlier group Prasad group. So during that time also actually long discussion we had about that crow class mentality and the crow class output of the modern day education system. So this is what will take place if we contemplate on the subject matter and make some nice notes. Otherwise, actually, what happens? We hear something and it just evaporates actually from our consciousness. So the practical thing that we can do is make proper notes and then discuss with other devotees also. Thank you very much. Time is already 8:32. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. In case any of you have any questions, you can ask. And those of you who have to go to office or any other place, please carry forward. Any questions or comments? Avadut Nimai Prabhu, would you like to add something? Any questions or comments? If not, then we'll end it here. Right. Many times you are understanding the behavior of that will be moved from there. So how to be in the sense? How to be in? So this solution is already given in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nasta prayesu bhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloker bhaktir bhavadinestiki. So that fixedness is achieved at Nishtha stage, not in Anartha Nivritti. And Nishtha stage is achieved by regular attendance in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes, and giving submissive oral reception to the classes. Sometimes actually when we hear, we are very selective. That I will like this part only, I don't like this part. I love this part only, I don't love this part. So we may be selective in just grasping the subject matter, but while having the oral reception should be very submissive, not in a challenging spirit, in a spirit of understanding. So the superiority complex will come because of passion that we have a lot. Inferiority complex will come because of ignorance. And until or unless we engage actually in some practical devotional service, we will not recognize ourselves. When we don't actually engage in that, sometimes we may consider ourselves as pure devotee. But we engage, then we understand, my Lord, so much passion is there, so much ignorance is there. Oh Lord, please purify me. The other extreme is of the superiority complex and inferiority complexes. Because either superiority complex will come or inferiority complex will come, so I'll not engage only. That means basically we are not purifying our anarthas only. So that is why best is act under the direction of the devotees, and they'll make you nicely carved from all directions. Then you will become a beautiful devotee. You are already a wonderful devotee. You will become even more wonderful devotee just by acting under the direction of devotees who are our well-wisher and who are more advanced than us. Like, so our chanting once in a while we chant 64 rounds. Haridas Thakur was chanting 192 rounds every day. And see, that is why I'm saying the result of hearing and chanting should be contemplation. But the problem is actually when we don't do proper contemplation, then it leads to the other contemplation. That is superiority complex. Then when we start thinking oneself as great devotee. But when we do contemplation and inquire from devotees, realization doesn't mean that I get some, nice, revelation within my heart, and then I keep it with myself only. Realization means whenever you get some revelation within your heart, go and ask your seniors. Is it proper realization or is it my superiority complex? So sometime, like I'll give an example. One devotee was there. So he went to Prabhupada and he said, no, Prabhupada, you came to my dream and he said me that, I can do smoking. Prabhupada said what? It was not me, it was my ghost. So like that. So his realization was proper realization or improper realization? Improper realization. Another devotee went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, today I got a dream in which you came in my dream and you are like Krishna and I was like Arjuna. I was hearing from you Bhagavad Gita. So there was no difference between you and me. Means between Arjuna and the same scene actually got repeated in my dream actually. And Prabhupada said excellent. Same situation because we are repeating the same parampara message. I am just repeating the words of Krishna. So it is excellent. It's first class dream. That you have. So that devotee was very happy actually. So this is called proper realization. Whereas the other realization is improper realization. So we have to check with our seniors whether my realization is proper or improper. Sometimes improper realization we consider we become attached to it, and then eventually we are corrected that it is very painful actually. We think that oh I thought it is realization, but it was some trick of Mayadevi only. It's very simple, trick of Mayadevi only, there is no doubt. Like I'll give another example. One devotee was there, he was giving class, and while giving class he sang very nice song actually. And some devotees at the end of the class they came and appreciated him. Oh, you sang very nicely and you described these things very nicely. So he got inspiration. Very, wow, I think I'm very good singer. So then he went and he made his own YouTube channel and things like that, thinking that he'll go now. He started daydreaming. I'll get so many, YouTube followers, and then I'll give classes, and this will happen, that will happen, and things like that. And then, he did all this without asking anybody actually, and he was not getting any followers. So he went into depression actually. And then after a few months, he came and he revealed, okay, I was doing this. I said, what happened? Where you were so many days? So I was making some YouTube channel and I spent some money also and I was trying to sing some songs and trying to reveal actually my heart to others. And things like that. I said, in our heart only garbage is there. We have to take actually what is the content that is given by Śrīla Prabhupāda and just present it. Very simple. And you may do some glorious services also provided we are guided actually by those devotees who are our well-wishers. So his realization of, presenting Krishna consciousness through songs and all was simply mode of passion. And then he went to the other extreme of ignorance. I think I'm good for nothing. So he was into depression actually, seriously into depression. So what we have to do is, whenever we get anything, go and check with seniors whether it is proper realization or improper realization. So that is why Prabhupada wants us. The last layer of Mayadevi is what? I am God. I am best. I am the best. That is the last layer. And when devotees will come and they will puncture the false ego, then we will feel very much painful. Then we will go to the other extreme of inferiority. That's why it's very important that we act under the guidance of devotee. So anything good happens, credit goes to them. And anything improvement is there, I will accept it and continue. Very good. Hare Krishna. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Please continue, Prashad Mohan.